In the news at noon, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly ratifies state government COVID-19 budget report. Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission collaborates National Orientation Agency in South-South, a launch of National Ethics and Integrity Policy. More congratulatory messages flood Palace of Offong, Surveyor, Odiong, Edet, Akan, following his selection as Ahta Oro the 8th. On the foreign scene, U.S. government blocks Iran-affiliated news website. While the sports home-based Super Eagles commence preparations for Mexico friendly. The details coming up shortly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on 101.1 FM. With you, I am Samuel Williams. We begin the news this afternoon with a report that the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has ratified the COVID-19 budget report of the state government for last quarter ending December 2020, as presented by the Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Charity Ido, member representing Okanafon State Constituency. The House, which dissolved into a committee of the whole to discuss the COVID-19 report, recommended that state government should seek support from the federal government and other relevant agencies to make it a matter of priority to support COVID-19 budget, since it is a global phenomenon. The House asked the Auditor General should ensure accountability, transparency, and probity in the management of funds allocated for COVID-19 budget execution, and that the affected ministries, departments, and agencies should expedite action in retirement of funds allocated to them within the approved period. It also recommended that ministries, departments, and agencies that are unable to provide relevant payment particulars of expenditure for audit confirmation should refund the same amount to the government as unspent funds. The House further recommended that the Auditor General should instruct the Sub-Treasury to always give priority to the issuance of Treasury receipts to ministries, departments, and agencies affected by COVID-19 budget execution. Meanwhile, the amount spent by Akwa Ibom State government on COVID-19 for the quarter ended December 31, 2020 stands at 3,313,111,375 kobo. The House was, however, adjourned plenary to Wednesday, 23rd June 2021. Away from that, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and National Orientation Agency, NOA, yesterday held a zonal dialogue with stakeholders in the South-South Zone 2, where it launched the National Ethics and Integrity Policy document. Speaking at the event held at E-Library, Uyo, the Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owosoi, represented by the member South-South ICPC Board, Dr. Grace Chinda, said the objectives of the policy is to promote societal core values of human dignity, voice and participation, patriotism, personal responsibility, integrity, national unity, and professionalism.
Important feature of this national ethics and integrity policy are the consequence management template and sustainability, monitoring and evaluation mechanisms put in place to ensure that the policy stands the test of time. The absence of sanction has been the bane of previous policies. It is therefore our hope that the consequence management and implementation strategy will help the proper enforcement of this policy. It is imperative to note that no matter the measures put in place, the effort would not yield the desired result unless you, the key stakeholders, embrace and own the policy.
In his remarks, Yakubu Habu, who represented the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, as well as the Director General of National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Agbari, who was represented by the State Director and Uyo, urged stakeholders to give the policy the widest publicity it deserves for the betterment of the nation.
Which is aimed at reawakening your consciousness to the age-long cherished values that have eroded this generation. For any nation to develop, there must be national values or ethics. Citizens must be guided to adopt these values and attitudes. National ethics therefore regulates the life of a nation and help to achieve its goals and objectives. As stakeholders, we are appealing to every one of us to assist the government to give this policy the widest publicity it deserves to make our nation a better place for all.
Other dignitaries at the event included Obina Ofora, representing the Director of Public Enlightenment and Education, Representative Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Agogo Agbor, Edidem, Ita Okokon, Obongawan, Edo Ndem, and others. The event further featured paper presentation and dialogue among stakeholders and participants at the event. In politics, the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State has announced a special state congress for the purpose of electing a new state chairman to serve at the tenure of the deceased state chairman, the late Offong Odiong. Communicating the decision of the State Executive Committee of the party, led by the acting state chairman, Right Honorable Lawrence Dawson, the PDP, in a release signed by the State Publicity Secretary, Boron Obasi, said the Congress is slated to hold next week, Wednesday, June 30, at the Nest of Champions EU by 10 a.m. Consequent on this, the party has approved the constitution of a local organizing committee, LOC, to plan for and coordinate the hosting of the Congress. According to the release, the local organizing committee has the national legal advisor of the PDP, Barrister Emmanuel Enoidem, who will serve as chairman, while Right Honorable Okpolomete is the secretary. Other members of the 10-man committee include Prince Enobong Uwa, Honorable Uwemokoko, Honorable Monday Ebonguko, Barrister Ekpenyang Ntekem, Obong Paul Ekbo, Alice Bassi Nia, Offong Michael, and Honorable Franka Chibong. The PDP in the release further disclosed that a comprehensive list of all the delegates to the Congress will be published, as only legitimate delegates will be allowed access to the venue. From the traditional stool, following his selection as the Ahta Oro the 8th, more congratulatory and goodwill messages have continued flooding into the Palace of His Eminence, Offong Surveyor Odiong Edet Akan. In a release signed by the PRO and Director of Protocol, His Highness Offong's first Sylvester Akaise, the latest congratulations came in from a Fiat clan in Imbo local government area. In a message signed by the clan head, His Royal Highness Obong Asukwo Okonokbo, the people of Ifiat Ikpoto congratulated His Eminence Offong Odiong Edet Akan on his selection as the Ahta Oro the 8th, and thanked or noted that he deserved the honor, being the most senior paramount ruler in Oro Nation, with track record of service to Oro. Other messages still trickling in are from Idua Clan Council in Oro local government area, Afagokbo Council of Chiefs in Mbo local government area, Ubodong Clan Council in Udongoko local government area, Uyaro Village Council in Oron local government, and Ibigi Clan in Oro Nation. Meanwhile, the Council of Oro Traditional Rulers Seat OTR has reminded Oro people that His Eminence Offong Surveyor Edet Akan, in his acceptance speech as Ahta Oro the 8th, has sued for total peace in Oro Nation, as well as called for cessation of hostilities by all warring communities in Oro land. The Ahta also promised to rule with the fear of God, while calling for support from all sons and daughters of Oro at home and in diaspora. On hygiene, the need for licensing of roadside barbecue operators have been emphasized to ensure quality products for consumers and to prevent the attendant health hazards that arise as a result of negligence on the part of persons who are into this line of business. This came imperative following the reported unhygienic preparation procedures and reckless exposures of products by persons in this line of business, which has been identified as capable of causing untold health challenges to consumers. Speaking with Planet News, health expert Dr. Ahta Oro has said though the barbecue business is very popular, and indeed the world over in Akwa Ibom, its safety concerns as regards public health have been relegated to the back burner.
In spite of the economic value associated with this business, the safety concerns to the consumers has become one of the major concerns of public health and a focus to raise public awareness. Poor hygienic conditions in barbecue business can result in ill health such as food poisoning, diarrhea, stomach upsets, pain, sudden ill health, vomiting, and even death if adequate, fast and proper steps are not taken to address it. Even though a lot has been done by public health departments, governments and individuals to raise the standard of the operators in this business, some have still not adhered to the hygienic conditions and as such puts the consumer at risk of contracting many diseases as a result of patronizing them at various times.
Dr. Oro suggested that all roadside barbecue operators in the state be licensed to instill a sense of accountability and responsibility in them when preparing their goods for marketing, knowing that if they deviate from laid down safety standards, there would be attendant sanctions.
Roadside barbecue operators must ensure that they maintain a high standard of personal hygiene. Hands must be washed thoroughly with water and soap. Their clothes must be clean and gloves worn and changed frequently during the working hours. The cooking utensils must be washed and kept clean after use, including the tables. The business area must be kept clean and tidy at all times. The business location must not be near a gutter or dump site. They should wear apron during working hours and wash them frequently. The business operator must have undergone a training for such business and must be licensed to operate such a business in a particular area. This will ensure guarantee and strict adherence to the precautions surrounding this business.
On the national scene, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the National Steering Committee (NSC) of the National Poverty Reduction with Growth Strategy (NPRGS) to be chaired by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. In his remarks at the event in Abuja, the President reiterated his commitment to lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years, with a well-researched framework for implementation and funding.
If India can lift 271 million people out of poverty between 2006 and 2016, Nigeria can surely lift 100 million out of poverty in 10 years. Fortunately, we have already started, but we need to unlock the challenges of slow implementation, inappropriate targeting, and absence of adequate resources. The performance of our economy despite COVID-19 gives me comfort that we can achieve our goal, but we need to seriously scale up and work more with state and local governments.
President Buhari was confident that the NPRGS would address the underlying causes of poverty, on the basis of which it developed programs that will deal with the multi-dimensional nature of poverty within the practical context of comparative advantage of human and natural resources in the various geopolitical zones. According to him, the major challenge before the committee is to translate the good intention of the government into a positive impact on the average Nigerian in order to create an appreciative impact on the poverty situation in the country.
As you all know, funding will always be a challenge, especially in these times when resources are limited. The National Poverty Reduction with Growth Strategy has thus proposed the establishment of a private equity fund, the Nigeria Investment and Growth Fund, to lead our resource mobilization drive and also manage the resources in a sustainable manner. Mr. Vice President and distinguished members of the National Steering Committee, I hereby charge you to commence work immediately so that the technical working group will also begin putting the nuts and bolts together.
You're listening to the news on 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and bring you more stories from the foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Let's stay with us.
The power of the people is so much stronger than the people in power.
The office of the citizen is the most important office in the land.
The real power belongs to the people.
Let the people know that the power is in their hands.
Find out how every Wednesday on Ahta Oro, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. on Planet 101.1 FM.
Thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the U.S. has taken down dozens of Iranian and Iran-linked news sites, which it accused of spreading disinformation. Many sites were offline on Tuesday, with notices explaining that they have been seized by the U.S., alongside seals of the FBI and Department of Commerce. They include Iran's state-owned Press TV and Al Masira TV, run by Yemen's Iran-aligned rebel Houthi movement. It comes amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and Iran over reinitializing a nuclear deal. More from the foreign scene, immigration enforcement officials will begin giving EU citizens who live in the UK a 28-day warning to apply to remain. But the Home Office will allow people indefinite time to complete an application for settled status if they have a reasonable excuse for delay. There is a week to go until the deadline for applications. In sports, the home-based Super Eagles today kick off preparations for the friendly game against Mexico. The high-profile friendly will hold on July 4 in the United States of America. According to the Super Eagles media officer, Babafemi Raji, the home-based Eagles will commence training on today at the Goal Project Package B in Abuja. It is close that there will be 2 training sessions today, with the first starting 9 a.m. and the second billed for 4:30 p.m. On the entertainment scene, Nigerian musician Big Brother Naija locked down former housemate Victoria V. Adeyele has announced her latest project, an album. The London-born reality star revealed that the album is titled Young and Reckless. V, as she is popularly known, was born and raised in London and moved to Lagos almost a year ago to begin her music career, where she has already made great strides. Before a BB Niger appearance, she released singles like Feeling in 2017 and On in 2019. After the show, she has dropped one single titled Show in 2020. And that's been the news on 101.1 FM. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. I've told you the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has ratified the COVID-19 budget report of the state government for last quarter ending December 2020, as presented by the chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Charity Ido, member representing Ukanafon State Constituency. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and National Orientation Agency, yesterday held a zonal dialogue with stakeholders in the South-South Zone, where it presented the National Ethics and Integrated Policy document. And following his selection as the Ahta Oro the 8th, more congratulatory and goodwill messages have continued flooding into the Palace of His Eminence, Offong, Surveyor, Odiong, Edet, Akan. On the foreign scene, we told that the U.S. has taken down dozens of Iranian and Iran-linked news sites, which It's accused of spreading disinformation. In sports, we reported that the home-based Super Eagles today kicked off preparations for the friendly game against Mexico. The high-profile friendly will hold on July 4 in the United States of America. Now for comments and coverage of the newsworthy events, you can call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on our Facebook page at Planet 101.101 FM. That is Planet 101 FM. Will you? The news was edited by Surveyor Robert. As we end the news, endeavor to positively touch lives this week. Try it today and enjoy the satisfying feeling that accompanies doing good. I am Samuel Williams. Good afternoon, and please stay safe.
Akwa